Oh, those
were... I morphed into Jazz Hands from Spirit Fingers.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, those were as terrible as they'd ever been.
I started, and then I was like, wait a minute.
And then it gets bigger.
Yeah. Spirit Fingers?
Spirit Fingers are little, Jazz Hands are like...
I don't think I've ever done Jazz Hands before these videos, so...
Okay, well, there's learning to do.
There is.
But aside from that, it is Wednesday once again, which means it's time for a new episode of the new Comic Book Day Rundown. I am Dustin, I'm the PR coordinator for Dark Horse Comics.
And I am Kara, and I'm the social media coordinator for Dark Horse Comics.
And we are here to break all of this down for you, as we do every week, so we hope that you are a return viewer, and if you are a first-time viewer, welcome.
Welcome.
If you would like to win all of these fantastic items that we discuss here today, all you have to do to enter our contest for that big prize package is just to share this video. Make sure that your share is public so that we can see it. You would think that's obvious, but not so much sometimes. We will look through those this afternoon and let you know by tomorrow if you are the lucky winner of all this swag.
That's right.
Please remember as well that if you have any questions about Dark Horse Comics, anything you are just itching to know, go ahead and drop those questions below in the comments. We will either answer those live on air during today's video, or we may pick a handful of those for next week.
Yeah.
Should we talk about library editions? Because this is something that this has become quite a big project for Dark Horse. Some of you may have noticed announcements that we've had for some big library editions that are coming up. That is where we take these kind of little guys after they've run an entire series, and then we put them in a big, beautiful hardcover book, like some of the ones you may see behind me.
The Goon behind you.
Oh yeah, we got the Goon back here.
Which one? Down here. Oh, literally right behind me. Here's a good example of a library edition.
Yeah.
This is a nice big collection of a long ongoing series, and we love to provide these big beautiful books for you. So a couple exciting ones that we're going to have coming up are Black Hammer, who just announced that we'll be collecting the first run of Black Hammer.
It does include issue number 12. That's a frequently asked question.
Yes.
1 through 13, all of them, and the annual.
The Witcher comics by Paul Tobin have been very popular. We'll have a library edition of those coming out. There's been 5 volumes, so that is lots and lots of comics there for you.
With a Mignola cover.
Yes, yes. And then Harrow County Library Edition will be coming in the fall. That is going to be quite the program. It's going to be 2 trades per library edition. So that is going to give you 8 issues per volume. And there will be 4 of those to get you to the solid 32. That was some intense mental math that I just did, but there you have it. Feel free to double check it.
Well done.
So go ahead and just check out the Dark Horse news feed. We've got a lot more information about some of those awesome upcoming library editions.
Yeah.
If you're daunted by a long ongoing series, they're a really fantastic way to get caught up.
Yes, indeed. And some of my favorite series all being collected in libraries. Big fancy ones for the collectors. Switching gears a little bit, you might have noticed that we've also announced a lot of titles for younger readers lately, from things like the Incredibles 2 tie-in comics, which I'm very excited about. And we also have ones for kind of young adult readers like Rocket Robinson, which is like Tintin meets Indiana Jones. Those are all coming up soon. And in honor of those, we have a digital sale for younger readers. And this sale, I think, is really cool. It has a huge variety of titles, everything from Gru to Emily the Strange, to Age of Reptiles, my favorite dinosaur comics probably ever.
We geeked out about Age of Reptiles quite a bit.
Pretty much like every time.
Yeah.
Because it should be geeked out about. Axe Cop, which was written by a kid and is hilarious. All kinds of things. Single issues are 99 cents, and there are some art books in there too, which are $4.99. So check that out, digital.darkhorse.com, and we'll drop links after we are done here today.
Yeah, that's a sweet deal for some summer reading. So if you have a kid that you're trying to ease into comics, or you just happen to be a kid at heart like myself, this is a great sale for you. So like Kara said, we'll make sure we get you those links.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about comics?
Comics!
You guys, we've got a new Witchfinder series for you today. So this is going to be Witchfinder, The Gates of Heaven, #1. This is a Mike Mignola series set within the Hellboy universe during Victorian times. It follows Sir Edward Grey, who is the titular Witchfinder. He is an occult investigator specifically hired by Queen Victoria. So he works for the Crown. This is a series of occult events that mystifies the man known as the Witchfinder, but even more surprising is the revelation that he is not alone in exploring the paranormal in London. So when a personal invitation arrives from the palace, Sir Edward Grey is pulled even deeper into underground supernatural exploration alongside new allies in the race to stop a mad scientist from destroying London in his pursuit of mystical power. Yes, I love this series. Got some beautiful art by Disraeli, and this is actually the first time he's ever worked on the Mignolaverse. So this is co-written by Chris Roberson and Mike Mignola, colors by the fantastic Michelle Madsen, and letters are by Clem Robbins. So highly recommend Witchfinder. This has been going on for a while, but this is a new miniseries. The structure is sort of designed to not require you to have read all of them, so if you heard my elevator pitch just now, that's really all you need to know to jump into the gates of heaven.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Errol Morris documentary,
Correct.
Gates of Heaven.
Correct, correct. Chris Roberson has given lots of interesting interviews about where the series is going, so if you want to learn more, there's a lot of those we've shared on our social media too, so you should check it out. And we're really excited to welcome Disraeli to the Mignolaverse. Yeah. Well, we also have new Black Hammer today. Age of Doom, number 2. So this continues the Eisner Award-winning superhero saga by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston. Jeff Lemire himself actually did the variant cover for this issue. And colors, of course, by Dave Stewart, and letters by Todd Klein. In this issue, the new Black Hammer, Lucy Weber, fights her way out of a gritty new dimension where she found herself trapped. But then she finds herself caught in hell itself and up against trickster demons. She refuses to be contained, though, and finds herself in yet another new dimension, met by a strange new godlike figure that I'm very excited. I'm not going to spoil it for you because you have to read it yourself and see, but I'm really excited to see where the next issue takes us. But I'm going to show you one of my favorite panels in this one, where Lucy Weber is just like, no, I'm not into this. I'm the new Black Hammer, and y'all are not going to keep me in hell. And the devil himself is like, all right, fine, just go.
Yeah, she's like, that's just a thing that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, living for Lucy Weber as the new Black Hammer, digging that costume, digging that hair, all about it.
I can do this all day, as
yes.
she says.
Yes, as she I can do this all day. We have also got the finale of Giles with Buffy Season 11, Giles number 4. If you've been following along with this is the teenaged Rupert Giles who's made his return to high school, and in the process he's uncovered a demon underneath the school and a very attractive yet mysterious girl, Rue. As he prepares for the final showdown with the demon, Giles is troubled by revelations about Rue and her extracurricular activities that are not the most savory. So this is co-written by Joss Whedon himself and Erica Alexander, who is absolutely fantastic, one of my favorite writers and humans, with art by John Lamb, colors by Dan Jackson. The cover artist on the regular cover is Steve Morris, with an awesome variant cover by Ariel Jovellanos.
I love the kind of vintage look of her covers.
Yeah, me too. They're kind of vintage. They're a little more cartoony. So this is the Girl Blue arc. Good. Fun, almost like not going wild with the sort of anime manga influence, but just a nice enough homage to work nicely. So, if you're a fan of the Buffyverse, highly recommend Giles. This has been a really fun spin-off series that's going to kind of bridge Buffy Season 11 and the upcoming Buffy Season 12.
Ooh, where the band gets back together.
Band is back together.
Skybridge.
And in a pretty big shift in tone, we also have Incognegro Renaissance number 4. So this is new from Berger Books, which is, of course, edited by Karen Berger. And this series is a prequel to Incognegro Graphic Mystery, which is a classic graphic novel that we reissued a 10th anniversary edition not that long ago. So in this, Zane Pinchback is a new reporter. He's a young reporter. He and his femme fatale are forced to flee for their lives because they've been investigating a murder mystery. Going underground uptown, they return to Harlem to find the last pieces of the puzzle. To survive, Zane must peel back the facade of the Roaring Twenties New York and stare directly into the truth under its surface. So I think this will appeal to fans of murder mysteries, classic noir, and it's a very honest and frank assessment of the issues that people of color face in society, which is always relevant. The black and white art, I think, reflects different shades of, society and how we treat people of color. There's a lot of nuance in this, also in the dialogue written by Matt Johnson. And so the art is by Warren Pleece, and it's just, I think, a fantastic collaboration.
Matt Johnson's an excellent writer, so the script on this is really fantastic. It's a little bit more literary, a little deeper than a lot of the typical comics fare, but really, really worth checking out. If you're unfamiliar with Incognegro, either the graphic mystery or Incognegro Renaissance, it does follow Zane Pinchback, who is basically an investigative reporter who is biracial, but is able to pass for white. So in racially motivated murders, he is sort of able to infiltrate both sides of the story because he's able to pass for white and get information that he may not otherwise be able to as a black reporter. So, excellent series from Burger Books. Yep. We also just recently announced that we will be doing a hardcover collection of this series in the fall.
Yep. So once this is done, again, this is number 4 of 5 in total.
Making another sharp right turn, we've got the hardcover collection for the series Halo Rise of Atriox. This is an anthology series. It's based on Halo Wars 2, which features the new ruthless villain Atriox. So this is the story of Atriox, his rise to power, his contempt for the Covenant, and the formation of the Banished. And it's told across a 5-chapter anthology. It features characters and stories from Halo Wars 2. It's acclaimed comics creators on each issue. So we've got people like Cullen Bunn from Harrow County, Jody Hauser, who's going to be doing the new StarCraft series. We've got John Jackson Miller on here, Alex Irvine, Eric Wynn, Jose Gonzalez, Tristan Jones, all kinds of people. And this is a cover by Alexi Bricklot. So let's take a peek inside this guy. Oh, there's Atriox and all his brute force. So great stuff for Halo fans. Like I said, this was a 5-issue miniseries, all collected here for you.
Nice. Also in nice, shiny hardcovers today, we have Joe Gollum, Occult Detective Volume 2, The Outer Dark hardcover. So this collects Joe Gollum, The Outer Dark 1 through 3, and Flesh and Blood 1 and 2. These are fantastic kind of noir, pulpy detective stories by Mike Mignola with Christopher Golden on the writing, and art by the amazing Patrick Reynolds, one of our favorites. Colors
our buddy
by
Patrick.
Yeah, buddy Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Colors by Dave Stewart, and the cover artist for all of these issues is Dave Palumbo. He does these amazing painted covers, which I'll show you again in just a second.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, like this one with the rat is amazing. So, occult detective Joe Gollum investigates 2 supernatural mysteries in this, while demons from his past seep into the present. When men are driven mad by otherworldly voices in their heads, Joe's search for an explanation leads to another dimension and a dangerous man who wants to harness its power. Then, church leads Joe to a crumbling home where a young woman is being possessed by ghosts of her family. That story I especially liked, actually. Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting dive into the past. And as this says, Joe Gollum is starting to kind of have these visions of what his past life might have been like, and so that adds another really interesting dimension to this story. And so there's that Dave Palumbo cover one more time.
And my impression of the rat.
And needs more teeth.
As many teeth as I can give you. Last but certainly not least, we have got Mog World in trade paperback. This is a new edition of the Yahtzee Croshaw prose novel. So this is set in a world bursting with would-be heroes. Our hero, Jim, couldn't be any less interested in saving the day. His fireballs fizzle, he's awfully grumpy, plus he's been dead for about 60 years. When a renegade necromancer wrenches him from eternal slumber and into a world gone terribly, bizarrely wrong, all Jim wants is to find a way to die properly once and for all. So this is sort of a send-up to online gaming. And people living within a world like that. As we discussed last week, we've been doing some new editions of Yahtzee Croshaw prose novels. So last week saw the re-release of Jam. This week we've got Mog World. That is what I call a fantastic double Yahtzee.
Oh.
How long have you been saving
Just
that?
with the
And so now we can stop.
And done.
And we're we're done for today. So yes, as a reminder, check out our digital sales. We'll be dropping those links below. Let us know if you have any questions about our comics that we can answer for you in next week's video. And we shall see you next week.
That's it.
Goodbye,
Bye,
y'all.
guys.